Hey, this is Pete from Abstract Ocean, and today we're going to be solving the problem of evil, nasty curb rash. If you own a Tesla and you've owned it for more than a few months, if you don't have this, then you're lucky. I went about 8 months on these wheels before doing it. So, and the product we're going to talk about is RimSavers. We carry these now. So we're going to go through a quick unboxing, then we're going to do some quick prep on the wheel, mostly to smooth that out a little bit, and then we'll just do the installation. We're going to do it on this, which is obviously a dark factory wheel from Tesla, and then the other colours we offer, I'll just quickly show you. So this is kind of the colour selection, so blue, red, and then the silver, which matches the regular alloy wheels from Tesla. White, just because there's a lot of white Teslas and some people like to add those to their rims. And then the metallic dark grey, which hopefully you can see just there, there we go, which actually has some metallic flake in, is a pretty good match for this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then obviously black as well, if you either want to just match the tyre instead, or if you have the Onyx black wheels on the Model X. Alright, so we're going to start with the unboxing. Okay, so here's what you get in the box. So we are doing the dark grey, good. So first trick is the box is kind of weird, it opens out at the sides and then lifts out. So in the box you get 4 of each of these. So you get alcohol wipes, of course, surface cleaner. This is all 3M stuff, so kind of the best you can get to pre-prep for the VHB tape, which is how it sticks to the wheel. And then you also get adhesion promoter. So this is pretty important when you're using VHB tape on high stress areas, like the wheel, of course. And this is sort of a prep for the VHB, which you'll find on the back of here. So we'll go over this. The important thing to note is that this is most effective between 5 and 20 minutes after installation. So you can probably get away with maybe sort of prepping one wheel, going to do another one, coming back, and so on, but make sure you don't leave it on there for any longer than 20 minutes, otherwise it loses its effectiveness. And then also in the pack, obviously you've got 4 of the actual rim blades, or RimSavers, and then you have 4 of these little plastic covers, if you can get that. But the purpose of this is just to cover up the seam if you want, and we'll show you a couple of options. And then you get a little tube of super glue too, to just glue this on. So this has nothing to do with the wheel, we don't put that anywhere near the wheel, it's just to glue this to the RimSaver. So with all that said, we're going to throw this all back in here at the moment. Get one of everything that we need, which will be a band, adhesion promoter, and the wipe. Okay, here we are at the wheel. So the rule of thumb is if you have some curb rash on the edges, if you can't run your finger comfortably over it, you just need to knock that back a little bit. And you can see I've got a couple of little bits falling off. This isn't that fresh, it was done, I don't know, a month or so ago. So what we're going to do is grab some wet or dry 600 grit sandpaper, and we're just going to take the tops off it. It certainly doesn't have to be perfect at all, and this is only if this is, you know, this feels too rough, and this is borderline. We could probably get away with it, but we don't want to. We want to do a proper job, so we're just going to sand this back just a tiny bit, and very carefully. Just to take the tops off. Almost there. And if you're curious about if this is damaging the wheel further, if you do ever decide to get the wheel refinished and resprayed, this is exactly what they have to do anyway. They'll take all this stuff off. Okay, so that's good enough. Now we're going to take our surface cleaner. This is just an alcohol wipe. Now we say this on our WheelBands video as well, but please trust me when I say that any installation issues, so you know, RimSavers or WheelBands flying off after installation, it is caused by poor surface preparation. So we're going to take our time. This wheel was relatively clean, but you can see that the wipe is filthy. I'm going to go around a couple of times. You know, really try to put a bit of elbow grease into this. If you ever use tyre cleaner or tyre glaze, or even these wheels are actually opti-coated, so they're going to have an extra layer of protection. We're going to go around and be sure to get kind of in between the sort of the tyre, the bead of the tyre, because that's partly where the RimSavers will stick. And if you're curious about the difference between RimSavers and WheelBands, they're both good products. WheelSavers are a little bit more cost effective, and they certainly do a better job of covering up wheel rash. Something like this you really probably couldn't put a wheel band over anyway, and arguably the installation of the RimSavers is a little bit better as well. Wheel bands do a better job at kind of protecting against deflections, so whereas this will be like a kiss on the curb, or where you just rub up, you know, slowly and gradually against the curb, wheel bands are a little bit different. They do better against deflections where you essentially steer into the curb accidentally. Okay, so I've been around that. Now we're going to take our adhesion promoter. This stuff smells. It's got quite a, I assume it's petroleum based, so be sure to apply this outside, and maybe don't have a cigarette in your hand while you're doing it, if you're still doing that, and then just wipe this around the edge. Same thing, get inside the little recess as well. And we're going to go again. Okay, you can see that still comes up pretty dirty, but not too bad now. So we know that the area is pretty clean. And the combination of the alcohol wipe and the surface prep, or the adhesion promoter, will make sure that we're going to get good adhesion. So with that, we are going to wait 5 minutes, minimum.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, so we're getting close to the 5 minutes, but while we just let the counter tick down, I'm going to show you the basic installation process. I don't know how much of a focus I'm getting on the end piece, but you can see that it's more or less an L shape, and the larger part of the edge goes around the top of the bead of the wheel. So if I come over here to the camera, you can see it just goes on like that, and you just kind of work your way around. It's pretty flexible, and you might be thinking, well, Pete, how is that going to stop anything happening to my wheel? And it does. You know, it's partly by design. It's sacrificial. Obviously, if you kiss the curb well enough, you're going to rip into the plastic as well, but it's not going to go anywhere. You know, the wheel prep we've done, especially with the adhesion promoter, means that this is going to stay stuck to it. And I'll link in the description below the removal instructions should you sufficiently wreck it that you need to replace it. We will sell a kit as well with a single piece of this and a removal tool to take care of that as well. But a couple more things to note. So just because I'm kind of anal about these things, but I'm going to line up the join with the valve on the tyre, on the wheel. I guess that's up to you, you don't have to, but it just kind of looks better that way, I think. And then let me just grab one of these little caps. As I mentioned earlier, this is what kind of covers up the join. It depends how well you do. You just need a standard pair of scissors to cut through this. It cuts real easy. Don't know where that went. So we're going to try and get a good join anyway, but I'm going to show you this with the cover on as well. Alright, so we're going to start. Now inconveniently I've got the valve stem down here. So ideally, if you're doing this, just get the stem to the top of the wheel. It'll just make starting off easier. But we're going to go ahead and get a bit closer on things. I don't know if it matters, but I'm left-handed and I just feel more comfortable going anti-clockwise around the wheel, so that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to just do a quick dry test. You really want to get it hooked in sort of above this rim. So what I'm going to do is peel back an inch or two with the VHP tape just to get positioned and started. We're going to just hook that on there, get a good firm bond there, and then we're going to just slowly start working our way around bit by bit. What I suggest is, just kind of get some key positioning as you go along. Maybe not do every centimetre or inch as you go, because we can come back around and just give it a good firm pressure, and make sure you're following the radius as well. So we're going to keep working our way around. I'm going to speed up the video now because this bit's kind of tedious. Okay, welcome back. We're getting to the grungy part now, so we'll go a little slow over this so you can watch what happens. But it's still the same process, but you can see that it's sticking perfectly fine thanks to the prep and the fact that it sticks across a pretty broad surface actually, so you really have to have wrecked your wheel pretty well to not be able to use these to cover up any damage. Alright, and here we are back at the join. So now we're just going to work our way around, making sure it's got adhesion all the way around. And if you ever need to kind of correct as you're going, you kind of see yourself you're not close enough, just peel it back. You get a few minutes to do that, but don't hang around either. The adhesion promoter is serious stuff, so it will take hold pretty quickly, and I guarantee it will not go anywhere. Okay, so we're going to grab our scissors and just get rid of that and that, make the area easier. So now we're just going to give it a trim. Again, this is a silly place to be doing it. I should have had the valve further up, so bear with me on that. Plus I'm left-handed and the world is against left-handers when it comes to scissors. And don't even get me started on left-handed scissors. So always go to what you think is probably a bit too long. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so for a join, and you can kind of manipulate it a bit, make sure you get all the edges lined up. So I would argue that's virtually invisible. Let me just kind of work our way around with the detail camera. So the grey is a pretty good match, and again, if you come further away, we did the rear wheel actually a long time ago. Of course, this isn't the one I tried to scuff, but we wanted to test the product, so this has been through the ridiculous freeze in Texas in February of 21, and obviously the Texas summer. So it's literally seen all weather conditions you're going to find pretty much anywhere in the world. So these do stay on, and it's a pretty good match. So let's get back in on the join. So just here. So if you don't want to see the join at all, you're going to get the little plastic bit, which on a grey speckle floor you instantly lose, and that just fits over like that, just covers it up. So we're going to get a little dab of the super glue, like so, and just put that over. It just tidies up the installation a little bit. Okay, so that's that on a dark grey wheel. Once you've applied it, you can drive on it straight away, unless the weather's weird. Try not to get it wet for a couple of days. But ideally, apply this in something above 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 Celsius. Or if it's super cold wherever you are and you really want to get these on, just make sure you're doing it in a warm garage, or use a hairdryer just to really warm up the VHB tape a little bit, because it helps with adhesion. It speeds up the curing process as well. And there you have it. Those are the RimSavers from Rimblade. Not at all confusing. And as I say, we carry them in 5 colours: grey or silver to match the silver wheels, dark grey to match the dark wheels, black just to match the tyres or the black Onyx wheels on Model X, and then red, white and blue, which I think is 6. Thank you for watching.